Okay, I've been working on this Husqvarna Rancher 455. I did do some port work to it. You can see I dropped the transfers down, trying to make it match looking like a steel version. Didn't do anything to the caps, left them the way they are. I did opened up the intake just a tiny bit, not a whole lot. I did match the intake boot to match. I did do a muffler mod. If you can tell, it's horrible. I pressed this whole thing out all the way around it and had to press it back in just to get in here so that I can take a piece of metal but yay long out, and ended up pretty much demolishing this exhaust. But I did put it back together. I don't know how good it's going to actually sound. This one did not have the screen when I got it. This is actually a saw for a cousin of mine. So, that's pretty much all I've actually done to the saw. These are actually really easy to take apart and put back together. There's a million videos on this saw, I promise. One thing that I'm starting to learn to do myself is put some aluminum tape here underneath the exhaust. I'm going to start doing it on other saws too, just to, keep the heat down from stuff melting. If you can tell, if you look, the exhaust is way up away from the bottom here. Well, this does have to actually drop about that far down in the case, so there's probably about that much of an air gap. But if you've ever slipped and touched the exhaust after you run one, they're a little hot. I did delete the decompression valve, stopped it off. I know that's going to give it a little bit of power, not a whole lot, but this right here is going to stop it from actually leaking. This is 55 cc's, I believe, or it might be 54. I honestly don't know. It's 56 cc's. Wow. Right there on the top cover. Yeah, for a clamshell, that's pretty awesome. I've actually tore this saw apart twice. The impulse line, it comes from the cylinder all the way up to the carburetor. I forgot it after I put the whole saw back together, but I figured I would turn it on and record and show you guys what I did to the saw, because I haven't made a video here in a few days. So another thing that this one didn't have, it didn't have a gas tank vent, so I put a vent on it, a steel style. I found it over in a bunch of parts that I've had laying over there, and a bunch of pile of junk actually. I noticed after I dug through all that stuff, I found some stuff that I've been looking for. But I'm gonna drop this back on there. This is really easy. If you leave everything attached to the sealer and drop it back on, it's a whole lot easier to deal with. Just take out your carb bolts. You got two big rubber boots right here that goes onto the top of the carburetor for the fresh air. Like I said, these are easy saws to build. I've already cleaned this saw, and the only thing this saw is actually missing is the oiler. That's it. $30, I can have this saw back to run. Oh, it needs a clutch drum too, because that thing is mangled. So I'm gonna convert it from 325 to 3/8 anyway. That way my cousin can have a bigger a variety of bar and chain that he wants to put on this thing. I've been wanting to build him a saw for a while, and I told him I would if I ever had the opportunity to find him something that would be, something that he would use it for. He was using my 385 around in the yard cutting sticks with, and I was like, no, I can't do that. But I think this is going to be perfect for him. I got a 445 sitting down there too that I'm going to actually build too. Take it apart, clean it, and go through the whole process. I think that one's 50 cc's. I believe it is, honestly. Anyways, let's drop this back on here. Like I said, it's not really hard to do. It's already all the way down. If you guys ever took one of these clamshells apart, there is always one cylinder screw that you cannot get out. It's always a booger to fight with, and I've got one here. I think that is it. If you do have one that you always fight with on this type of saw, always put it on the side that you can actually reach in and get one of these on. I do use a T-wrench, an Allen wrench, but you know, with the ball on the bottom like that, they will strip out. It's good for actually tightening it up, but I mean, getting it started and tightening it up a little tiny bit, but you want something like this. I wish I had longer ones like a lot of other people on this YouTube community. So what I want to do is just get them started. So after I get the oil and everything on this saw, I want to run it. Well, actually, I'm going to run it. I'm not going to cut nothing with it until I get all that stuff first. Those really tight spots are always so hard to get these out of. A lot of people don't like building these saws because they're not what they call, you know, power wise. They don't think you can get a lot of power out of them, but I think a lot of people in this community has proved that time and time again wrong. I mean, you can get fairly a decent amount of power out of them. I mean, you're not going to have a race saw, but there's that one. See, it won't turn. These two back here are really, really hard to get to. That's the reason why I was using this. That, and I can always, no, actually I can't. But I do have this. If you build saws, you're going to come across stuff like this. Just cut the elbow off and used a little teeny tiny Craftsman wrench. I know you can't put a whole lot of torque on that because look how thin it is, but you can get some with it. All right, now we are at this stage. I still need to clean the handle because it's kind of dirty, kind of really dirty, really. If you want to do a muffler mod on one of these, all this is pressed. You can take a little teeny tiny pry like this, and all you got to do is literally just pry it. The up and down part right here is really easy to get to. The side to side is really not. You will absolutely aggravate yourself to death trying to get that apart. I know some of these saws have a baffle built into the exhaust. It goes down and comes back up and then comes out of a teeny tiny hole about yay big. So I opened up the hole. I mean, you can tell, see? There was not a baffle in this one. I was surprised, actually. But, yeah. I'll throw a picture up here, guys, what the inside of this muffler actually looks like. Yeah, it's a pain in the hind end taking one of these apart and trying to smash them back together. I wish I had a vise, because I'd put it in that vise and I'd crank it until it sucked back together. But when you don't have you know, tools that you want, you work with what you have. Oh God. Hey, listen to that. She's got good compression, I tell you that, even without the yeah, she's got good compression. This thing actually started and ran before I did all this to it, before I took it apart. Like I said, there are a ton of videos on how to put one of these, take it apart, put it back together. I'm basically wanted to focus on the muffler because there's not too many videos out here that actually show you how to do a muffler mod on this actual type of saw. Well, this is the 455 Rancher. I saw one video on how to do one of these. One video out of all the ones where they take them apart and put them back together. Nothing to do with the muffler at all. So I watched probably 8 or 9 videos, and then finally I came across one where a guy took the saw completely apart and was like, you know what, let's take the muffler apart and see what's down inside of it. So he took it apart, all these, it's not weld, it's just pressed. You just gotta push the press out. It had a baffle in it. He took the baffle out. So, and when he started the saw up and ran it, that thing was actually really nice. It sounded way better. He even put a dual port on it, on this side of the muffler. I mean, you can put them on either side, the way the plastic and the, let's see how the plastic would react to this one. Yeah. See, plastic right here, but you got your chain brake. It comes out here. So this side would be ideal for that. All I gotta do is get a oiler, put back in here, be ready to rock and roll with this one. I really want to cut with this one because I put a lot of time in this little freaking saw. But I'm not going to bore you guys with putting it back together, but I will make a video on running it. So until the next video, you guys have a lovely day.